Gentlemen, just give me a minute. I'm on a phone. We just take a 5 minutes break. All right. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Sorry. You guys are from TG?
PG7 na to.
7, huh? Okay. Hold on a minute. So, Major Kim Mendoza and Major Ahmad Saiful, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, hold on. Okay, how was your other presentations? Anybody did any presentations today apart from this one?
Yes, sir. Me, sir. Major Robert, sir.
Robert, okay. Where did you go?
IR.
IR,
IR.
Okay, all right. You are still with the emergency number. Okay. What do you call Major Kim and Major Ahmad Saiful? If you are ready, just put on your slides, share your slides, and then you can start off. Okay. Before you start off, Major Saiful, once presentation is over, can you please upload your documents, your write-up only? Go into my room in the Microsoft. You go to file. You'll find a folder which is written Armenian and Azerbaijan war. So you can go into the folder and upload it there. All right. I don't need your slides because our slides I will evaluate now itself. All right. I only need a document only.
Okay.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Are you good to go, Major Kim?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're good. Then upload your slides and we can proceed.
Sir, good afternoon, sir and ma'am. I'm Major Kim Mendoza ILAO, and with me is Major Ahmad Saiful Nizam bin Asnan of Task Group 7, and we're both 9. And today we're going to present to you the war that took place in the area called Nagorno-Karabakh, which involves the two countries, the Armenia and Azerbaijan. Sir, for the scope of our presentation, as shown, sir. The war between Armenia and Azerbaijan erupted on 27 September 2020, and it ended on 09 November 2020 in Nagorno-Karabakh, a mountainous region and considered the center of the almost 3 decades of dispute between the said two countries. Sir and ma'am, in the next few slides, we will discuss to you the background, analysis, and lesson that we have learned from this war. For this presentation is aimed to analyze the war between the two countries, and likewise, we will specifically tackle on the analysis on joint warfare, war in media, and logistics. Furthermore, we will also present our analysis of the leaders involved and the lessons learned during the war. For the background, during the 19th century, areas in the Caucasus region where both Azerbaijan and Armenia lies have lost their kingdoms to their neighboring empires. Because of the centuries land contest between Ottoman, Iran, and Russia, the Russian Empire made changes to break the power balance and annex Iran's portion, including Karabakh, or they called Black Garden. This change was followed by conduct of demographic surveys in the area, including the newly conquered territories. It resulted in the creation of Baku Governorate, Elizabethpol Governorate, and Erevan Governorate, and redrawing of boundaries of its subregions, which include Azerbaijan and Armenia. This arrangement remained until the Russian Civil War and the collapse of the Russian Empire in 1917. This collapse caused the Azerbaijan and Armenia to be independent states and ignited territorial disputes to fight jurisdiction over Surmali, Sangizur, Nakhchivan, and Karabakh. This conflict was considered the start of the sequence of the battles between the two countries. In 1920, because of the alliances and diplomatic activities made concerning other empires' interests and ambitions to access the region's oil, Azerbaijan could get most of its territorial claims, the Nakhchivan, Sangizur, and Karabakh. However, this changed when the Red Army of the Soviet Union conquers Azerbaijan and Armenia and was placed under the control of Joseph V. Stalin. New borders once again implemented, and the Nagorno-Karabakh was created as an autonomous region in the Azerbaijan Republic, despite Armenians' majority. In the Nagorno-Karabakh, Armenians tried asking the Soviet Union many times to join the Armenia country, but their request was always denied. That in 1988, due to the implementation of the new policy called the Glasnost, people gained more freedom that gave them the opportunity for Azerbaijan and Armenia to declare independence. This implementation led the people in Nagorno-Karabakh to pass a memorandum. As a result, they leave the Azerbaijan Republic, which resulted in the revival of the past rivalries. In the early 1990s, the conflict became a large-scale war, and in 1994, a ceasefire agreement was signed with the United States, France, and Russia. Due to some events, both countries refused to settle the peace treaty, and the peace treaty was disrupted, and each side's attacks continued. In 2016, another war broke out, and it lasted for 4 days. Then, in July 2020, encounters once again started in Nagorno-Karabakh. And on 27 September 2020, a large-scale war erupted that leads to Armenia's surrender in just about less than 2 months, which turned the ancient conflicts events. Then on 09 November 2020, Azerbaijan was declared triumphant and the ceasefire agreement was signed. With the long history of the conflict between Azerbaijan and Armenia, strategies, weaponry, tactics, and other factors change over time. And in the long run, one country was considered successful, and with that, it is imperative to analyze the factors that led to Azerbaijan's victory and Armenia's failure to take over Nagorno-Karabakh. In analyzing warfare and strategy, we were able to induce the following. First, integration of warfare systems provide lethal weapon. During the war, Azerbaijan relied heavily on drones to have their air supremacy despite the limited air capability. These advantages boosted intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance, or ISR, capability, which gave them clear picture of the battlefield. It helps them to easily identify the enemy defensive positions, movements, and armored units. And by integrating the drone system to their indirect fire support and missile system, their weapons became more accurate, making their attack more lethal. Because of the weapon's accuracy, it provided great advantage to Azerbaijani forces to conduct long-range strikes capability against the Armenian attacks, bunkers, and even cutting off the supply lines. Second is using electronic warfare to counter drones operations. Armenians use electronic warfare system to counter the drones. Supposedly, electronic warfare is effective against drones. However, it doesn't stop Azerbaijan's drones because the electronic system was deployed late. The drones of Azerbaijan are also of the latest, which could fly higher and avoided the Armenians' counterattack. In employing the system, the Armenians should have studied the capability of their design and the enemy to counter enemy's attack. In this case, the electronic system used became useless because it did not stop enemy's attack and further put them to their disadvantage because their drones were also vulnerable to their own attack. And third, using mercenaries for additional human force. Despite the denial of using mercenaries from other countries, evidence and some analysts suggest that mercenaries during the war was very effective in preserving the force. Mercenaries' involvement in the war helps increase the number of troops, and placing them in front line during attack reduces the risk of losing their regular troops while exhausting the enemy's resources. This strategy will sustain the force in case the battle will be longer or will last longer. Sir, at this point, I shall now hand over the presentation to my partner, Major Nizam, to continue.
Okay, thank you, sir. Now we go to the media management. Okay, now we go to the media management. Okay, sir, during this war, media management is one important aspect that our group want to highlight. Why? Because Armenia and Azerbaijan had implemented restriction on the media. This action has been taken by both countries after war has begun. One of the main reasons this strategy has been derived to prevent attack in media, especially in social media. Armenia and Azerbaijan also want to avoid this thing to affect of the morale of the people. This is most concerned thing for the both countries. Nowadays, it's more crucial time to keep the information. All information we can get easily by using our finger in a second. Because of this, both countries take media management action to conceal information to avoid their rival getting it. Another reason why this action taken, it is for their propaganda strategy. We can look by using video, billboard, and social media to get support from their people. Okay, now we go for the resources. Okay, with loose experience in the war before, Azerbaijan take this as a challenge to them. Azerbaijan know by build up capability is a building military confidence. In order to making this thing happen, Azerbaijan had keep investing a huge budget on military asset acquisition for the last several years before war start. One of main factors to contribute Azerbaijan military confidence growth is by purchasing latest and advanced military weapon system. Being an oil-rich country is the main factor why Azerbaijan taking advantage of resource to build capability. This advantage gives Azerbaijan more income to boost up on military spending. Okay, sir, now we go for the leadership. Okay, every battle for sure there will be a hero. Depend on everyone's perspective, and it is a subjective to say. From military perspective, the commander or leader, they need to have a knowledge. Commander also need to have skill and ability. With blend of knowledge, skill, and ability, it will give advantage to commander for influence his subordinate or follower. Influence together with leadership trait and leadership style will boost up commander as influencer. With these all criteria, for sure commander can achieve any objective given. Okay, in 2020 war between Armenia and Azerbaijan, our group had decided to choose President of Azerbaijan, Mr. Ilham Haydar Aliyev, Armenia Prime Minister, Mr. Nikol Vovai Panshiyan, and last but not least, incumbent President of Artsakh, Mr. Arai Vladimir Harutyunyan. Okay, we go for Mr. Ilham Haydar Aliyev first. Okay, from our analysis, okay, he is a hero of the Azerbaijan. Why? I will touch on it later. Okay, Mr. Ilham Aliyev was born on 24 December 1961. He is the fourth and current president of Azerbaijan, serving in the post since 31st October 2003. He is hero for Azerbaijan because, okay, we can look into the action and style from the leadership characteristic from him. First, our group has defined he has a bold and aggressive characteristic. Why? We can look during the 2020 battle, all of the strategy and tactic has been made by the Azerbaijan is mightily strive and excellent. We can look at the Azerbaijan had to make back all district that he lose to Armenia before. Second, he is the grand strategy. Why? Because he had made well preparation for this battle, with a spent big budget on defense for the last 3 years to strengthen Azerbaijan military capability. And then unified and centralized command. We look in the aspect when he making good relation and cooperation with Turkey. With this relation, the Turkey has given support in the back for Azerbaijan during the 2020 war. He also had a good cooperation with Russia before as a capability of Russia that have interest in Azerbaijan oil. Okay, and then he also have a demonstrate good assessment and plan. Why we say that? Because he implement of cyber war in this war. Cyber war is the one of the big surprise in this battle. Attack and recon using drone has given Azerbaijan a lot of advantage to make bold and aggressive action to Armenia. It also is the first battle ever in the world using a drone as a primary strategy. Okay, now he also we look at the well-forced orchestration. Why we say that? Because he have deployed the Syrian mercenary at the Azerbaijan border. This strategy will look one of the strategy to make the concentration of force. The strategy has made Azerbaijan better prepared during the battle. Okay, last point that we look into Mr. Ilham is the his rapid movement. Offensive action along the battle have made Azerbaijan dominance in the war. Azerbaijan managed to get back their logistics before this action. Okay, now we go for the Mr. Nikol Vovai Panshiyan and Arai Vladimir. Okay. Both of them, what we can say is, we go on the background first. Okay, Mr. Nikol Vovai was born on 1st June 1975. He is Armenian politician serving as Prime Minister of Armenia since 8 May 2008. And Mr. Arai Vladimir was born on 14 December 1973. He is the incumbent president of Artsakh. He was formerly as the state minister and prime minister of the Republic of Artsakh. He was the last prime minister of the country before the office of prime minister was abolished in 2017. Okay, what we can look into this good leader is first thing that we look, the biggest leadership characteristic is the both of them have a poor enemy assessment. Why? Because they have failed to assess Azerbaijan capability. This factor is the main reason for the many action has been planned and easily get countered by Azerbaijan. Okay, they also have a complacency lead characteristic. Why? Because maybe we experience win the battle before. Both of them see Azerbaijan development, especially in the military, without the interest. This behavior is one of the main factors that making them lose in the battle. And last but not least, the lack of the foresight. These two leaders is failed to know well Azerbaijan had made both them not foresight with Azerbaijan action, especially in acquisition drone in Azerbaijan military asset. So that's why we say that. Okay, now we go for the lesson learned. Okay, every battle for sure I have a lesson learned. Every event that happen in the world, of course, have its own reason. But whatever the reason of it, for sure that will be a lesson that we can learn from it. War in Armenia and Azerbaijan also have a lot lesson. But from my group perspective, we can look in. We would like to highlight two main lesson learned from this battle. Okay, first is innovative use of all element of joint warfare. This lesson we can look into integration the land-based fire support and air capability by Azerbaijan synchronizing the system of new weapon and artillery asset with the drone that could see real-time action on the ground. Firepower accuracy and their precision improved and become more lethal. Then, air supremacy aside from using conventional aircraft. Having control the sky provide better position to clear see the battlefield, which further offer real-time information that could help execute precise and accurate attack. Even without fighter jet and large military aircraft and bombers, air supremacy can be achieved using cheaper and lightweight drone. This is first massive drone warfare, and for sure it will shape nowadays war into the next level. For my our group understanding lah. Okay, and then second lesson we can look is adaptation to the introduction of new warfare. Okay, the improvement of the passive defense with the emergence of a new weapon in the modern warfare, military should now consider new way to improve defense. The military should study way to enhance camouflage and hardening of the defense and force to counter the new weapon and strategy. Upgrade of military system that could adapt to the new technology. This is important. Why? Because to adjust the military system to much advanced system to counter any involving warfare attack. We must gauge our capability and always thinking about to improving the system by learning a new way to maximize the technology and current ability with investing for the even greater power for the future. Okay, for the conclusion in this battle, okay, despite the long history of the war, Azerbaijan was able to show that he learned its lesson, was able to prepare to achieve its goal, which is to reclaim the Nagorno-Karabakh region. It was able to project his power by using modern warfare through the latest technology and his advantage. For Armenia, the preparation made by the country show that they underestimate Azerbaijan. The lack of intelligence and assessment of the battlefield can also be seen in the aftermath of the war and cause them to lose the area that they keep fighting for decades. Although the war is end, it did not resolve the political status of Nagorno-Karabakh. However, with Russia and Turkey intervention and influence, the conflict might hopefully end. Okay, I think that's all for my group presentation. Before we embark to the Q&A presentation, I would like to share some video that will give an idea to you about the drone warfare. Okay, please look, sir. Okay, that's all for our presentation. Now we open for the Q&A session. Please, if have.
Okay, Major Kim and Major Ahmad, you gave a very in-depth understanding of the war and the background to it. And you have said that you want to analyze from three perspectives, that is joint warfare, war and media, and logistic perspective. I did not hear on logistic. In your slide early on, can you put on the slide, please?
Okay, sir.
A slide. Okay, can you go back to your aim? Okay, hold on. No, back to your second slide, second or third slide. Just go down to the second slide, please. Okay, stop here. You look at the second paragraph, you said that you want to deal with analysis on joint warfare, war and media, and logistics. Did I miss logistics?
They have Dato. Okay,
Yeah.
we can look.
Yeah, can you please highlight on that? I did not catch
This Dato.
that.
Sources.
Okay. Well, okay. Okay. All right. Can you go back to the warfare? Your analysis on your warfare. Okay. No, one more. Where you have. Okay. Stop here. Okay. This is what you have informed us or through the presentation, that what has used in the war, that is they were able to integrate warfare systems using lethal weapons. They used telephonic warfare and the use of mercenaries. I just like to clarify myself. Although you said that based on some literature, they said they use mercenaries. Your understanding, how would they utilize?
Can you repeat the last sentence, sir?
How were the mercenaries utilized? I know Major Ahmad said that they were used as part of the regular force to boost up the strength, but mercenaries also cost money. I mean, can you add on to what you have just said? Elaborate a bit how they were used.
Okay, Dato. For your information, Dato, by using the Syrian by the Azerbaijan, we can look into the history of the Azerbaijan and Syrian missionary, because they have some relation in terms of their race and their inherence. So they also have some understanding with the religion to help each other, because both of them as the Islamic country. So when someone need help, the Syrian say, or that their friend as Islamic, they will help the Azerbaijan. And also the Syrian not help for the nothing. He also had a background agenda, because when they help the Azerbaijan, they also get paid, and maybe they get some supply for them, because we know Syrian now have a prolonged battle in their country. So with this, they help Azerbaijan, and Azerbaijan will give benefit to them. That's my opinion. That and by using the mercenary, for sure, the concentration of force for the Azerbaijan will look more terror, because at the border they will not send the troop. They just send the mercenary only. So they will concentrate on the main battle at the Armenia. That's my opinion, Datuk. Thank you.
Okay, you're referring to this slide. Mercenaries were used by Azerbaijan or Armenia?
Azerbaijan, Datuk.
Azerbaijan. Okay, good. Okay, fine. Okay, you want to add on anything, Major Kim?
Yes, sir.